comic books made more sense. You know it is fictitious without pretense.
Today I thought I'd take a look at some Hobbit comics from 1989. Now you might be asking, Hobbit comics? What, did DC Comics or Marvel Comics do Hobbit? Like adaptations or something? Well, first of all, for all you kiddies out there, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings were books, far before the movies came out. The Hobbit came out in, 1937, around there. And the Lord of the Rings books were about the 60s and brought back, The Hobbit into the public consciousness. And really it kind of stayed there for a long time. Everyone loved the Tolkien books and all that. And towards the end of the 80s, Eclipse Comics, with the help of Charles Dixon and David Wenzel, made a 3-part comic adaptation of The Hobbit. Here's The Hobbit. Here's the second book. And we'll get into the art in a second. That's the Gollum. That's a pretty good rendition of the Gollum. It's actually better than the cartoon version they had, where actually there's 2 versions. And here's the third one, where they encounter Smaug the dragon. I always call him Smaug until the movie, but there it is. So here they all are. Dun, The Hobbit. Yeah, these are cool books. I discovered them as a kid. I had gotten into The Hobbit by buying it at a school book sale for like 25 cents. And I enjoyed it, and then my dad told me that he had like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I didn't know about any of this. And he's like, "Oh, the sequel is like a big trilogy with his nephew and everything." I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I got into Tolkien and stuff at a very early age. I was probably 10 or 11 or something when I first read The Hobbit. No, I was 10. I know that because I was in grade 5, and I asked my teacher if she would read that to the class because she was looking for a book to read to the class. And then she came back the next day and said, "This is too much for kids, and it's too sophisticated." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm stupid and I'm reading it, so I don't know." But when I was about 11 or so, I was like really I had seen one issue of the Hobbit in a comic book store. I think it was this one. Saw this and I was like, "Oh my gosh," and I realized it was like the second part of a whole thing. And I was like, I gotta track these down, and I tracked them down to the ends of the earth. I went to, my dad and I used to go on road trips, and we went to Winnipeg, and around that time, Winnipeg was a hotbed of comics. And I scoured Winnipeg, and I got the other issues. I also later on got the big collected version. This is awesome too, and we'll be taking a look at this. Yeah, so I mean, there were Hobbit comics in the late 80s. The art is fantastic. Let's get into it. Alright, so the cover has the credits. It's illustrated by David Wenzel and adapted by Charles Dixon with Sean Deming. And let's just take a look at the back. First published in the United States over 50 years ago. The J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit has become one of the most beloved books of all time. So I was excited because I was really into comics anyways. I was like, oh my god, and I was really into The Hobbit, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Now, I had seen the cartoon. It's cool, it's awesome. But to see a comic adaptation was incredible, and the art here is less interpretive than the cartoon. The cartoon takes weird liberties. This, for whatever reason, what you're about to see, what I'm about to show, is what I saw in my mind's eye, and I thought, wow, did they read my mind? But I really feel like when you read The Hobbit, these exact images come up in your head. So let's take a look. The Hobbit, or there and back again. This is an excellent little reader to if you just want to read this. I mean, I recommend reading the book, but this is so accurate that this kind of is the book. So here's the maps and everything. There's a copyright 1989-1990 by estate of J.R.R. Tolkien, based on the Hobbit copyright 65. And here is the Hobbit hole and everything. Here's Bilbo with a kind of a bowl cut. Here's Gandalf coming over and bothering Bilbo. And he leaves a little mark for the band to know where to go. And here's the whole scene. Now this scene is about 8 pages long. It's not like the hour-long version of the movie, but it gets the job done. Everyone comes in one at a time until like they all pile in. This art is great, by the way. It's a very painterly quality to it. So here he's getting used to all the different dwarves. There's no hot dwarf here like there was in the movies. I do adore the movies, by the way. I know a lot of people don't like them. I like the Hobbit movies. There's a lot of great Tolkien stuff in there. And I think that they fleshed out things. They made it a great, like, grand adventure. The Hobbit is an adventure anyways, and I know people got upset that it's more zippier and bubblier than the Lord of the Rings movies. Well, that's because the book was too. The book was not Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was different. The Hobbit was made for kids, and the Hobbit movies fit perfectly with that. They're not too stupid. They're pretty awesome. Lots of slam bang action and stuff. So here they're talking about, the Mountain of Gold and everything, the dragon and all that stuff. And here, like, he gets up late, and then there's a note, just like the book. It's all the book. I can zip past things and show you more, but here's the big ogres, the trolls. Then they get into a fight, and then it's daytime and they turn to stone. Gandalf, it was your voice that got the trolls to argue, just like the book. So yeah, they see the trolls' treasures here, and Bilbo gets his little sword. Is that a mountain? Of course not. That's we can't even see the mountain from here. So they go and they visit the elves, and there's a lot of narration too, which is good. Like they have to mimic the book somehow, right? But there's still like word balloons and dialogue, and you see the moon rune writing and stuff. And here are the mountain guys. Now in the movie, I think they're like made out of rock or something. That was neat. That's cool too. I always thought they were just like big, like giants of just like throwing rocks at each other because they're a-holes, right? And here they got captured by the orcs or the goblins. And here's the Goblin King. And the fire that distracts him and everything. Now Bilbo gets separated from them in a kerfuffle and finds the ring. I'm really zipping through all this, but you could get to see all the art and everything. You could maybe pause it and read some of it too. And he encounters the Golem. And they do the whole thing with the riddles and everything. And he gets mad and all that stuff. He looks terrific here. I know that like Gollum's now forever the movie version. And that's going to be what he is in most people's mind's eye. So do the riddles here. Chestnuts, eggs, all that stuff. And here there's a fish, and that gives Bilbo his clue, and he says fish. It's all luck and everything. This is a great shot here of the Gollum, suspecting perhaps that he has the ring, right? Some more of the riddle and talking and everything. A lot of great stuff with the Gollum. So here, Bilbo is in his ring mode, right, where he's invisible, etc. And he escapes, and he meets up with the band. Gandalf suspects something's amiss here. And then they get chased by wargs. And the birds come. And of course, here's the whole, why can't the birds just take them all the way, right? But they put him on a rock. They don't want to go all the way, so they put him on a rock here. And this is where my favorite character in The Hobbit was Bjorn. I love this guy. He's awesome. He turns into a bear. He's not really in the Hobbit that much. He's not really in the book that much. But anyways, he comes in all happy and stuff because he realizes that they're against the goblins. He has a goblin's head on a spit here, and so on a pike actually, and so they take off. He gives them supplies and everything, horses, and they go into the woods. I'm just zipping right by these. All this stuff happens in the book. They try to get like these sort of enchanted deer, these enchanted caribou things. And here are the spiders. And yeah, so every time they see the elves, they try to go to them and then they disappear, but then they get attacked by spiders and they're fairly gruesome, etc. Whew, here they are. This is incredible work, actually. I don't know if people really appreciated this back then, but this is astonishing to look through now. Terrific art, terrific adaptation, very respectful. Everything is what you would think it is from this world and from the Hobbit book. Here they are before the Wood Elves. And they have to escape somehow, and of course Bilbo has the ring, and he puts them into the barrels here. Now there's no giant fight like there was in the movie. I like the fight, but I know that people are like, well, it's not in the book. I get it, it's not in the book, but yes, this is as it is in the book. So, and here they are with their goal within reach here. More or less, but they're gonna go into the this little town here, and here they are before the council in this town. And he's like, I proclaim, I am Thorin, son of Thrain, son of Thror, king under the mountain. I return. And they're like, okay, well, I don't care. And yeah, so now they're going to go find the entrance into the mountain here. And I'm trying to figure it out. And then when the sun reaches a certain position, it shines light right on where they're supposed to put the key in, etc. So there you go. Now is the time for our esteemed Master Baggins, who has proved himself a good companion on our long road, and a hobbit full of courage and resource far exceeding his size. Now is the time for him to perform the service for which he was included in our company. Now is the time for him to earn his reward. So he has to go and confront the dragon. And here he is. He looks incredible. Looks awesome. I love all the little treasure and stuff piled up. So here he wakes up and stuff. And the Hobbit, like, you know, teases him and stuff. He knows he's around somewhere. I like the little tuft of hair on his chin. That's funny. So anyways, he's really aggravating Smaug. And now he's all pissed off, and he goes, "They shall see me and remember who is the real king under the mountain." So then they go in and he finds the Arkenstone. And here Smaug is destroying this town. The dragon is coming, or I am a fool. Cut the bridges. To arms, to arms. So they're all gonna try and fight this guy. The whole battle in the movie was pretty incredible as well. I'm saddened that people don't like those movies. I think they're great. The Hobbit movies. So anyhow, they do shoot him right in the little nook that he had in his armor, and he falls. And so now they're all like, "Let's go to the mountain." And all the forces are now gathering. You know, the birds are giving messages, etc. And all this is from the book, right? So here are the parties meeting. And here they're fortifying and everything, and all the different armies are coming. And of course, Bilbo tries to reason with them. And Thorin is like angry and stuff. He's like, you miserable hobbit, you undersized burglar. By the beard of Durin, I wish I had Gandalf here. Curse him for his choice of you. May his beard wither. As for you, I will throw you to the rocks. It's like, stay, your wish is granted. Here is Gandalf. And none too soon, it seems. If you don't like my burglar, please don't damage him. Put him down and listen first to what he has to say. And he tries to reason with him, but like Thorin has lust in his eyes for the Arkenstone. So now it's the Battle of the Five Armies, the birds and everything. It's all the narration from the book. It's all cool stuff, man. You know, here are the goblins, all that stuff. There was a scene where Bjorn comes in his bear mode and just destroys guys. I think it's recounted later. So here's Bilbo making amends with Thorin. He's like, "No, there is more in you of good than you know, child of the kindly West. Some courage and some wisdom blended in measure. If more of us valued food and cheese and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world. But sad or merry, I must leave it now. Farewell." What a great little line there. That's awesome. So Bilbo's all sad, you know. A mercy it is that I woke up when I did. I wish Thorin were living, but I am glad that we parted in kindness. You are a fool, Bilbo Baggins, and you made a great mess of that business with the stone. And there was a battle in spite of all your efforts to buy peace and quiet. But I suppose you can hardly be blamed for that. So yeah, here's like Bjorn comes in and destroys guys. And he like crushes the Goblin King. Yeah, I mean, like they kind of, I don't remember them doing much with Bjorn, and maybe he was in the Battle of the Five Armies in the movie, but so anyways, they're going back, and you know, Here he is greeted again by his buddy here. And yeah, so when they go back, of course, everyone's selling his stuff because they think he's dead. And yeah, so then he's recounting stuff with his dwarf buddy here, and it's all the book. It's pretty incredible. I remember reading this, going, "This is awesome, man." And it's like, but I still read the book sometimes as well. Reread it and everything. Here are all the different credits here. Tolkien, David Wenzel, his art. Charles Dixon, Sean Deming, Bill Pearson, who I think edited this. Yeah. So this is incredible. I think they reprinted this, because I've seen different covers now on Amazon. But if you are a fan of Tolkien, not everything is the movie. You should seek out stuff where when people were starved for Tolkien like content, beyond the books and everything. The cartoons were a thing, and also stuff like this, and little statues and things like that. There was not a lot going on with Tolkien as there is today. There's just like tons of Tolkien merchandise you can get. But this is a great little thing to pick up if you could find it, or if you could find the individual Hobbit comics. These are not expensive. They're not. Anyone charging like something over $5 or $6 per issue is crazy, because they're not. They don't go for that much. But yes, if you can find them, seek out the Eclipse Hobbit comics. They're wonderful.